What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Lawson's Finest Liquids, and they're out of Waitsfield, Vermont, and this is their Hazy Rays. So they're calling this one a Hazy IPA that comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review, and this can is just over 2 months old. So this is the newest release into Lawson's year-round lineup. I think they have Sip of Sunshine, Little Sip, Scrag Mountain Pills, and now this. So this is an IPA, a hazy IPA that is brewed with Citra and Mandarina Bavaria hops, and that's all I kind of know about it. They have a little spiel on the side that does have tasting notes. We'll read them at the end if I remember. So let's crack this one open, get it in the glass, see what we got going on here. Now I am using my Barn Cat Artisan Ales Tiku because they unfortunately announced recently that they are going to close their brewery at the end of August. Now, if you're not in Canada and not a huge beer nerd, you may have never heard of Barn Cat, but they are in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and they've been doing some of the best beers, in my opinion, in Canada, period, over the past 5+ years, and it's really a bummer. I've reviewed, I think, a couple beers from them on the channel, but yeah, it just sucks. Anyway, that is beautiful. That has this beautiful, fantastic looking yellow orange sunshine-esque color, very murky and turbid. I can see like the shadow through it, but I can't see anything like specifically. Has just over a finger of a bright white, creamy yet soap sudsy looking head. But yeah, murky, turbid, can't see through it. That is a beautiful looking hazy. Might look a little bit darker on camera, but yeah, nice, especially for 5.3. Let's get a nose. There is an insane amount of like juicy citrus on the nose. Orange, tangelo, tangerine in general, like a sweeter ruby red grapefruit. There's a little bit of like a pineapple as well. Maybe a touch of like a peach also. But this is very citrus heavy. There's also this slight floral dank hop character hanging around that's really nice. There's a touch of like a biscuity, almost crackery malt sensation. It smells awesome though. It definitely smells like a lower ABV, crushable, hazy IPA or pale ale. This, you could skirt the lines between the two. Definitely on the aroma, it has pale ale kind of esque vibes, but it's an IPA. It's a hazy IPA, they call it. But yeah, I'm kind of blown away from that citrus and more specifically like orange, tangerine, tangelo character. Smells pretty damn good, so let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Now, this isn't super fresh, just over 2 months old, but it's been kept cold the entire time, and they actually have a spiel on the side right underneath, the paragraph I didn't read, where they say they ship cold, they store cold, drink cold, keep cold, make sure it's fresh. It's not super fresh, but this is really nice, but it's not mind-blowing or anything. It's a 5.3% hazy IPA. Really nice flavors, though. Biggest characteristic is that citrus, and more specifically like orange, tangerine, tangelo character. Body on this one at 5.3%. It's like lower side of medium. Yeah, lower side of medium, maybe even higher side of light. Definitely thin, but it's 5.3%. So, it is what it is. The mouthfeel, it's a little bit more crisp than I was anticipating. This is like lower side of moderately carbonated. It is smooth, but there's not like that like big, soft, creamy thing that you're looking for from a hazy or New England IPA. I mean, there's a little bit of a softness there, but definitely lower side of moderately carbonated. Body and mouthfeel are perfectly acceptable. Nothing wrong with it, but they're not mind-blowing, right? The taste, I want to say this is a one-trick pony, but this has a heavy emphasis on citrus, and more specifically in the orange tangerine realm. And also I said tangelo, right? It's juicy orange, it's juicy tangerine, it's juicy tangelo. All hits me at the forefront. Right after that, I get that crackery, almost biscuity malt sensation that carries on throughout the entire palate, but it's an underlying note. Midway through the palate, I get a little bit of like an underripened like white peach. A touch of a pineapple, but not too big. Again, this is very citrus heavy. On the finish, this finish is semi to full-on dry. Very mild bitterness, and it has a little bit of that floral kind of, I said dank in the nose. I would say like more of like a floral herbaceousness on the finish. So mildly bitter, almost full on dry, pretty well balanced. Honestly, I think I'd like a little bit more sweetness. There's that juicy kind of, orange and tangerine flavor, but there's not a sweetness accompanying the juiciness because this is only 5.3%, so they're not using a lot of malt, and this is very dry in the finish. So I think I'd want a little bit of a bump in sweetness to kind of balance it out a little bit more because it does finish pretty dry. And if you like, your lower ABV, hazy IPAs and pale ales a little bit more dry, then this would definitely work a little bit better for you. I want to see a little bit more balance. It's pretty good. It's not blowing me away. It's not setting a new standard, and I didn't think it would. Usually when a brewery adds something to their year-round lineup of, relatively, I think this is new beer. I don't remember them. Maybe this wasn't new, and this was around, and they just put it in the year-round. But usually when they do that, they know they have a very drinkable, quaffable, enjoyable beer that people will buy, buy the 12-pack or maybe even a case of it and have it on hand for when they want to slam something back. This is that beer. If you're in the mood for a hazy IPA and you want a little bit of that juiciness and you want something that's very easy to drink, this, no questions asked, would get the job done. For me though, I usually drink one beer, sometimes two per day based on the ABV. I want something a little bit more flavorful, a little bit more complex, and I definitely want a little bit more sweetness from here. I know this is only 5.3%, but that's a personal preference. You can't taste the 5.3%, so that's pretty good. All right, so rating on this, I'm not going to go crazy high. I hope you would know that. I'm not going crazy high when I'm calling this a solid, good hazy IPA. What I meant to say is I'm not going to go crazy low. I'm not going to, soon as I took a couple sips, I kind of already knew where I was going to rate this. But I think this would approach a 4 out of 5 if it was a little bit more balanced. I think it would probably get in the low 4 range. As is, Lawson's Finest Liquids, their Hazy Rays, Hazy IPA. I have absolutely no issues whatsoever giving this a high 3.75. I'll go 3.8. It's the best I can do on this. I think that's a very fair score, honestly, for what I'm drinking. This kind of drinks to me almost more like a hazy pale ale. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. And recently I've had a hazy pale ale from Grow Brewing Company that was, I think, 5.5%. That drank way more impactful and just better in general than this beer. I really love that beer, and this is in the same realm ABV-wise, and I guess I was expecting a little bit more, and they kind of let me down a little bit. Lawson's, though, most of their stuff is pretty good. I like the vast majority of the beers they release, and they usually have a good price point. Case in point, this Hazy IPA in my neck of the woods, anywhere between $14 and $16 a 4-pack, which, a lot of times when you see a 5.3% Hazy IPA, it's at least $18 if it's from a high brewery, sometimes even $20 if you're in California, maybe even more. So that's not a bad price point, especially in distribution. And then availability, I think Lawson's distros to, I think it's 9 or 10 different states in the Northeast. You probably see them throughout New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and I think they get a little bit maybe into like Virginia. All I know is they have 9 or 10 states they distro to, and their year-round offerings get distroed all the time to those states. So if you're in one of those 9 states, you can check on their website. You should see this at some point. I think it comes in different sizes too. I think you can get the 4-pack of the 16 fluid ounce cans, and they also, I think, have like 12 packs, I'm pretty sure, maybe even 6 packs of the smaller cans. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. I do know a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Rick, he had this one a couple days ago. He mentioned this to me, and then he checked it on Untappd, and he said 3.75 to 4. You're spot on, Rick. Your pal and mine, pretty much 90% of the time we're on the same page. And I don't remember what you exactly said about this one, but it's like I think he did say this gets the job done for like what you're going for, and if you're kind of craving like a lower ABV hazy IPA. And I would agree with that, especially if you like a little bit drier of a beer. For me though, I don't think I'd return to this one. If I wanted a beer from Lawson's that's year round, it's going to be Sip of Sunshine, although I don't think I've reviewed Little Sip, so maybe in the near future. Oh yeah, let's read the little spiel here just to see. Our juicy and hazy IPA features a blend of Citra and Mandarina Bavaria to deliver a tropical medley of tangerine, yeah, clementine, sure, and mandarin oranges, yes. Hazy Rays is soft on the palate and incredibly quaffable. I actually think I used the word quaffable, so yeah, they're spot on with that. So 3.8 out of 5. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.